Hi everyone, it's me Gaming Duo, and welcome back to another tier list. At long last, we are finally going back to another tier list, as today we are doing another animation studio. But not just any other animation studio, we are doing Sony Pictures Animation. Right now, as we speak in 2022, if you would have talked to me 5 years ago, I would have said there's probably more duds than positives. But now, they've released multiple films that are like really freaking good since I reviewed like the Emoji Movie and other movies. So, they've released a lot of really good movies. So, I'd say overall now it's more of a mixed bag than more bad than good. I'd say it's right about split down the middle. I already did a Dreamworks and Pixar tier list. I am planning on the next animation studio tier list will probably be Blue Sky Animation, and then I am going to end it with um I got regular Disney to do too, but that'll probably be last. And that'll probably be a long ways away cuz it's a lot of movies that I still have to see. As much of a Disney fan as I am, I haven't seen probably even half of them. There's a lot of the Disney classics that I haven't seen, and that is very hard to believe, but there's a lot of films from regular Disney I haven't seen. But I've seen every Pixar film. I've seen probably three-quarters of the Sony Pictures animation films. So actually, let me add a tier to the bottom, and we'll call that have not seen. There you go. So these are the films I have not seen yet. Um, and we're gonna go in no particular order, just the order the tier list gives me. And we start with Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which is, for this studio, it's awesome. What a funny movie. I mean, this is also one of the most nostalgic movies on the list for me. Flint Lockwood is a character you sympathize with a lot. You truly see that he wants to be a famous inventor and fails at it pretty much until he makes the food machine that brings weather patterns of food all around Swallow Falls. And then all sorts of hijinks ensue when it becomes too much, and stuff like spaghetti tornadoes happen and huge storms of craziness. This movie is just crazy, but it's also freaking hilarious. My favorite scene is when Flint has to look his father in the eyes and make sure to tell him he's got everything under control. That's an awesome scene. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is an awesome movie. The only reason I don't quite put it in top tier, it is one of the top five of the animation studio, in my opinion, though. The only reason I don't put it in top tier is because Steve. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Steve. I think he's a little bit of an annoying character, but other than that, I'm really not such a big fan of Steve, but the rest of the movie I am a big fan of. I love Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 1. Surf's Up 2 Wave Mania, I haven't seen. I have no interest in seeing this movie. The first Surf's Up is good enough on its own, and maybe if it was just a general continuation of the first movie story, I would have seen it, but with what they're basically doing with WWE, which I like WWE overhaul, but I mean. Oh, by the way, that's Luna barking down there. Sometimes she goes on little barking fits, so just ignore that, guys. Anyways, um, I would have seen Surf's Up too if it wasn't for WWE trying to force themselves into this movie. And even so, I might have even seen that if it wasn't for the fact that it just got really bad reviews, and some people even say this is the worst Sony animation movie, period. And that's not a good sign. Another movie I haven't seen is Goosebumps 2. Honestly, I haven't seen the first one either. I might give them a check out. They look pretty cool, but back when these movies came out, I had no interest in seeing them. Um, there was a while there where I did read a couple of the Goosebumps books, but really only during school. So I never really read them on my own. So I guess you can say I was never really a huge fan of Goosebumps. And the last one for a little while that I haven't seen is The Smurfs: The Lost Village. Um, I haven't seen this film at all. I believe this came out the same year as that movie. Um, I don't know. I saw the first two Smurfs movies, but I just had zero interest in seeing this in 2017. I guess it was because I was 15 years old and I just didn't really have any interest in seeing it. Surf's Up, on the other hand, what an awesome movie. The first one. Not this one, the first one. I love the style of the movie being basically a sports documentary or a sports cast or something like that. That's awesome. That aspect of the film is awesome. All the characters are likable, from Cody to Big Z to Chicken Joe. Chicken Joe is my freaking idol, by the way. I mean, he's got a freaking surfboard. That's a sign of awesomeness. I haven't seen this film in almost 10 years. The last time I saw this film, I believe, was on HBO one day in like 2014 or 15, so it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, but I saw this movie in the movie theater when it came out, and I adored it at the time. And from what I can remember, from seeing it at like 13, 14 years old, I still really liked it and thought it was awesome. So, Surf's Up, in my opinion, is an awesome movie. Pirates Band of Misfits. I saw this once, but I can barely remember anything about it. From what I've heard, it's good, but I'm going. I'll put it in good. From what I've seen and from what I remember, I liked it, but I can't remember a damn thing about it because I only saw it once. I don't know. I think I saw it on HBO just like I saw Surf's Up or one of those channels on TV. And I found it pretty good. I just don't remember a heck of a lot about it. Hotel Transylvania 2, I'll put it in the same tier as Pirates, but I do remember this a little more because I've seen it more than once. I saw it twice. Once I saw it in school, and the other time, the first time I saw it, I streamed it. Was it on Netflix? One of the streaming services. I saw it on a streaming service for the first time, and then I saw it in school. Um, I like it a lot. I think it's a very good sequel to the original. Um, Honestly, I should have put a tier between awesome and good and call it great. Because this might be under great. I don't know. I think it's just good, though. Um, the adventure the Drac and his gang go on with the little kid to find out if he's a vampire or not is awesome. Um, Mavis and John, or Johnny, going on a vacation is pretty cool to meet Johnny's family. It has been a while since I've seen this film, so I can't recall a lot about it. From what I remember, it's good. I've seen it more than I've seen the Pirates, so I can give it above the. I'll put it above Pirates for sure. because at least I've seen it more, and from what I remember, it was a good sequel. Open Season. I'm probably gonna get freaking shot for saying this, but I really freaking like Open Season. And I had to make sure with myself to actually see if that was my true opinion. And well, from what I remember, I really liked it as a kid. I actually think I was a little more into Surf's Up as a kid, but I remember really liking it. I saw the DVD at Walmart for $5 in January 2021, and I decided to pick it up, and wow, this film is very enjoyable. It's a bit formulaic, yes, but you know what? Overall, I enjoyed all the characters. I liked the comedy for the most part. I think the scenery is very nice. The animation is a little bit dated, but other than that, the whole scenery of the animation is nice. I guess you could say I'm a bit of a sucker for the American West, and whenever you see that kind of landscape in a movie, I enjoy it more. It might also be because I'm very, very, very nostalgic for this movie. Sort of like I am Surf's Up, so maybe I'm going to give it a little more credit than most. But still, this movie, I enjoy it more than most do. Vivo, I haven't seen yet. I've heard pretty good things about it, but I haven't seen it. I don't really have much more to say about it than that. Peter Rabbit, I haven't seen either. I was a big fan of Peter Rabbit when I was a kid, the books, but as I grew older, I really got out of it, so I haven't seen that yet. Mitchell's versus the Machines. Again, I'm probably gonna get my frickin' house torched for this, but I don't know. There are parts of this movie that kind of annoy me, if I'm being honest. There's amazing aspects of this film, but there's also parts that kind of annoy me a lot. I don't know what it is. It's kind of maybe I don't know if you call it the meme culture of the film or the fast pace. I know Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is a bit fast paced, but this feels even more so when you never. I mean, it pauses occasionally, but this film to me, I just don't like it quite as much as most. It's a good movie with absolutely heartwarming scenes, but for the most part, The Mitchells versus the Machines is good, but not like one of the best of the studio, in my opinion. What is probably the best of the entire studio, though, is Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse is an awesome, incredible, almost perfect movie. Um, I don't know if I quite think this is the best Spider-Man film. Again, I'm gonna have a lot of controversial opinions here, but it's my opinion. So, that's it, it's my opinion. If you don't respect that, well then, oh well. But if you do respect that, stay tuned. Into the Spider-Verse is the studio's best movie, in my opinion. Beautiful animation, amazing story, amazing characters, all the variants of Spider-Man are awesome. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I'd already be like this is already a target movie for me, but I love this film. If it wasn't for the original first Spider-Man and No Way Home, this might be my favorite, but something I just there's something I just prefer over those two live action movies compared to this. But there's no denying it. Everyone has sung its praises all the time. Into the Spider-Verse is up there probably as one of the best animated movies of all time. I think it's like a 9.7, 9.8 out of 10 for me. What an incredible movie. Alright, next. No, I'm just kidding. Wow. Wow. We have gone from the best movie in the studio to the worst. I've already talked about this movie. Do I have to talk about it again? Yeah, alright, I will. Eventually, just like Norm of the North, I'm going to give this movie a re-review. I was gonna do a whole month of bad movie reviews in May, but something very big happened that month, so I couldn't really finish it. But the Emoji Movie is... I can't find a word for how freaking trashy this film is. Abysmal? That's too nice for it. Garbage? Uh, I guess, but I think it's even worse than that. Terrible characters, the animation isn't honestly bad, but when your characters and your freaking story is like... Your story is formulaic and your characters are just annoying to absolute pricks, you can't enjoy the movie at all. I don't like this movie at all. I hate this movie, and it is definitely in my top 10 least favorite films of all time. What a garbage excuse of a movie the Emoji Movie is. When I first heard that we were getting an Emoji Movie, I was like, what's the point of that? And when I saw it, I was like, the only reason I saw it is because I heard how bad it is, and I like to torture myself with bad movies. And I decided, yeah, let's go torture myself for an hour and a half. And it was a lot worse torture than I thought it was. This is a trash movie. Please don't watch it. It's garbage. The Angry Birds movie. Or is this the sequel? I don't know. Oh no, the sequel's there. Is this a Sony Pictures animation film, though? I don't remember it being one. I thought it was under a separate studio and then the sequel was Sony Pictures. Maybe it is. I don't know. But anyways, I have not seen it. I'll be honest. By this time, I believe the film came out in 2016, I wasn't that into Angry Birds. If it was 2012 when this film came out, I would have been there opening night. But because it was 2016 and my Angry Birds fad had been away for probably 2 or 3 years at that point, I was more into like, well, this film came out, I believe, during my channel's run. I believe it was... I've already been on YouTube for a few months when this movie came out, so I was really into like Batman and like a lot of other stuff, but not really Angry Birds at the point. So I've never seen it, honestly. Okay, we got Hotel Transylvania, a very good movie. I'm gonna get probably tortured for this, but I'm gonna put Hotel 2 over Mitchell's. Um, Hotel Transylvania is a very good movie. Maybe a little tiny bit annoying, but the story is very heartwarming and even has a couple of really sad moments. But overall, the relationship between Mavis and Drac is awesome. This guy coming into a monsters only hotel is very funny, but don't really have too much to say, as it's been a long time since I've seen Hotel Transylvania, so I'll leave it at this. I really enjoy it, but don't really remember too much about it. Open season 2. Uh, you see, this movie is not good, okay? It's not good. I put it in meh. I'm not gonna put it in bad because of the fucking saving grace of the character of Roger. Stanley, it's been ages. If he wasn't in this movie, this would have been a pathetic sequel to Open Season. Because all the rest of the movie is pretty bad, but Roger absolutely saves this movie for having at least a slight little tiny bit of rewatch value. But other than that, this is not a very good sequel at all. I just love Roger as a character. I guess it's because I kind of grew up with this movie too, not as much as the first one, but I got this film the year it came out, and I think it's mediocre overall, but I do like the character of Roger, so yeah. Um, what's this? Arthur Christmas. Kind of scared to put it where I'm gonna put it, but I will. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen it. I heard it was really good, but something just doesn't make me want to see it for some reason. I don't know what it is. I really don't, but I haven't seen it. I probably will one day, but I have not seen Arthur Christmas. I have seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too. Perfect place for not bad. And I don't know if it's good, but it's definitely not bad. Way under the original. Um, I love the whole food, animal world, and stuff like that. That's very creative. That's my favorite aspect of the movie. Officer Earl is maybe even more funny than he was in the first film. And other than that, it's just it's not as funny as the first film, and I don't get invested in the characters as much as the first film outside of Earl, so there's not really a heck of a lot that keeps me going back to this film. I've maybe seen it twice. I definitely remember seeing it for the first time when it came out in 2013. I didn't go to the movies to see it, but I believe I saw it when it came on DVD, maybe? I'm not sure, but I don't remember too much about this film. All I remember is Earl was funny. It's got a very creative idea, but I just couldn't really get invested in the characters as much as the first one. Wish Dragon, haven't seen it. I heard it's a big copy of Aladdin, and it just doesn't interest me. With the, ooh, I'm very split between putting the first Smurfs movie in bad or garbage. I kind of want to give the Emoji Movie the only spot for garbage, but this is pretty damn close to as bad as the Emoji Movie. Um, I saw this movie in the movie theaters when it came out in 2011, and I feel bad for making my mom and stepfather watch this. Because rewatching this, I believe I rewatched it in 2019 as I was doing a top 10 least favorite films of the decade or least favorite animated films. This film was wretched to sit through. Oh my god. All the Smurfs are annoying. Neil Patrick Harris's character is like watching paint dry. Gargamel, honestly, is tolerable, and so is Azrael. They're the only two tolerable characters in the film. And when I root on for Gargamel to catch the Smurfs, that's a sign that your movie just needs to be better. I don't like this film at all. In fact, I can't stand it. The Smurfs, garbage. Alright, turns out I haven't seen a lot of these movies. I haven't seen Hotel Transylvania. I haven't seen Hotel Transylvania 3 or 4. Where's 4? Isn't this the newest Sony animation movie? I haven't seen either of these. I like that Brian Hull plays Drac in this movie, so that's why I almost checked it out, but then I was like, I don't know, it doesn't look all that good as a movie. So I don't know, but eh. And by the time I was going on 17 when Hotel Transylvania 3 was coming out, so I guess that was just the point where I was still a big fan of animation, but it didn't really grab me as much as the first two, so I guess that's why. Alright, we're getting towards the end of this list, and it looks like, wow, a lot of these I haven't seen, honestly. I've probably seen less than half of these, honestly. Haven't seen Angry Birds 2. I haven't seen Peter Rabbit 2. I haven't seen The Star, and I haven't seen Goosebumps. Wow, that leaves me with only 3 of these. Open Season 3, Open Season Scared Silly, and The Smurfs 2. We'll start with Open Season 3. Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad. It's the worst open season movie in my opinion. There's really nothing redeeming. What it basically is it's the same quality of Open Season 2, except Roger could not save the film. It's just boring and the characters are dislikable, the animation is bad, and it's just a bad movie overall. I don't enjoy it much at all. Open Season Scared Silly, I will put. Hmm. Honestly, it's probably the best sequel. Next, and it's probably the best next to the original. Still not a good movie, but it's got enough enjoyable aspects like the return of Shaw as the villain. That's awesome. But other than that, it's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie either. I only saw it once, so I don't remember that much about it, but I remember it being okay. And the final film for this tier list is The Smurfs 2. Honestly, I like it more than the original, but other than that, wow. Just the same bullshit that happened in the first film. Nothing really redeeming about it. It's just a bad film overall. I don't have much more to say about that. The new additions are not any bit investing. There's just nothing there for me. Smurfs 2 is garbage. Let's just put it like that. Okay, how many picks do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, number 15 is the Emoji Movie. Enough said. Number 14, The Smurfs. What else can I say except the Smurfs are annoying, Neil Patrick Harris is like a plank of wood, um, Gargamel is okay in the film, but other than that, there's literally nothing redeeming about this film. Number 13, The Smurfs 2, slightly better than the original, but still an absolute trash movie. Number 12, Open Season 3. Basically, Open Season 2 without Roger. Number 11 is Open Season 2. Roger is amazing, my freaking hero, but other than that, this movie is an absolute no for me. I believe that brings us into the top 10 with Open Season Scared Silly. The best sequel, but not by a lot. It's not bad. I like the return of Shub. Other than that, it's not really a movie I want to rewatch. Same goes to number 9, which is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, too. I love the food world and Officer Earl, but other than that, can't really get too much into this movie, as it's just kind of, I don't know, I don't get into the characters as much as I did in the original. Number 8 is The Pirates Band of Misfits. I literally don't remember much about this movie at all, so I don't really have too much to say besides that. Number 7, Mitchell's vs. the Machines. I think it's a bit of an overrated movie, as the movie can get on my nerves a little bit, but it's got enough really good aspects to consider it a good movie. Um, Number 6 is Hotel Transylvania 2. A very good sequel that's almost as good as the original. I like the storyline of them sort of trying to see if Mavis's son is a vampire or not. And it's an enjoyable sequel. Bringing us into the top 5 is the original Hotel Transylvania. A very good movie, very funny. It might be slightly overrated or underrated depending on if it's Animat's review or not. But I think it's good, but not great, so I can't really say too much more. I like the whole storyline about, I don't know, I might feel like Drac is a little too much like Marlin from Finding Nemo, maybe, so I don't know. I've seen an overprotective father story before, and this is kind of one of them, so it's a good movie, but not awesome. Number 4 is going to be Open Season. Open Season is awesome in my opinion. I can't help it. I like all the characters. I like the whole world of Timberline. I love the fast pace of this movie is done very well with all the chase scenes and stuff like that, especially when they go on the water or on the river and Shaw chases them on the river. That's an awesome scene. It's got heartwarming moments. It's slightly formulaic, but other than that, I really enjoy Open Season. Number 3, Surf's Up. This is such a unique movie with its style about basically being a sports documentary that it's very awesome to see. All the characters are likable, except for Tank, who is, you're not supposed to like him though. So this is an awesome movie. Number 2, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is a very, 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 very fun time with some of the best characters in the company's history. Um, Very, very good idea with all the weather patterns and the food. You get really invested in Flint Lockwood's character of him trying to succeed at something with his inventions, and when he finally does, ultimately turns out to be a disaster. Steve is a little tiny bit annoying, but the rest of the movie literally makes up for that with flying colors. Nothing can beat Into the Spider-Verse. Come on. This film is a masterpiece. All the different versions of Spider-Man, the whole animation style, Miles Morales' story, it makes you tear up, it makes you laugh, it makes you go, yes, yes, it makes you cheer. There's just so much good about this film. It's close to being one of my favorite Spider-Man films, but No Way Home and the original 2002 might take it over this one. But I think it's my third favorite Spider-Man film. And you gotta understand, those two films are in my top 20 favorite movies of all time. So this has got to be in my top 25. This is an amazing film. and is the top tier film of Sony Pictures Animation. So I hope you guys like this tier list. That's it for now. The next tier list might not be an animation tier list. It'll be released in January 2023. And I hope you guys like this. And yeah, that's about it. Gaming Do here. See you later. Bye.